What's going on, Mr. Haskins? Happy Memorial Day to you and your family, man.
Estate is not cookie cutter. There is no strategy that's going to work for everybody. Okay. So
Or
what does
or
that mean
every
for you?
property. There's no, every property is different from each other.
That's right. Some properties Dan might like that I would say I'm not gonna mess with that. And then some houses that Dan would like, I mean Dan won't like, and I'll go in and buy them. So you have to make a decision. And I think that's hard, Dan, because the way we've been trained in our educational system.
Chris, that's a really good way of thinking, right? So, when I look back at my education, it was like memorize, memorize, and then everything was cookie cut. Like if you didn't fit within the box or try to fit within the box, there was no collaboration.
Which is
That collaboration was not encouraged, and even till today, right? The kids all tested and made sure that they can't talk to each other. And so, whereas in business, it's the total opposite, right? If you're self-employed, at least, so it's a lot of collaboration that we're looking for among each other. We don't want to think it. We don't want to think inside that box. We don't like rules. Entrepreneurs don't like the rules that are set forth. We make our own rules,
yeah.
and we want to think outside the box, right? So, I think you're right.
So get your questions in, round up, homies, please. For Dan Borrero, he's been investing since 1989. Give us both a follow. We'd like to know, what are you doing? How can we help you on this thing? What's your channel, Dan?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
What's your channel? How do people follow you?
Oh, Dan Borrero on Instagram. I'm at USA Land Ventures or Daniel Borrero Jr. And on Facebook, on YouTube, Daniel Borrero Jr. or USA Land Ventures. Either one of them will get you there.
So if you haven't already, we're registration for our subject to lease option 3-day virtual workshop is still open right now. Just go back to one of my old videos and you can get the link for that stuff, or send us a direct message. Dan, so you were talking earlier, brother, about your equation for buying real estate. I never heard it put like that before.
And I don't remember. Refresh my memory because we spoke about a lot of things.
Getting your money back out of it and all that stuff. Because some people
Yeah,
are
because
like,
the question we had earlier was, how much do we want to make per door? And my equation is that it depends on the property. So if I'm buying a condo in Florida, I'm at like 150, 140. I want to be able to get back my entire investment within 5 to 7 years. If I'm buying a property in New York City, a four family, let's say, I can't, the reasonable expectation is anywhere between 10 and 15 years. The sweet numbers around 13 to 12 and a half years, right? So, you know, everybody has their own formula and what works for them, and I was just giving people my what works for me. Now, like there's other investors I speak to that tell me if they don't get back their money within 3.5 years, they don't even want to look at the deal, right?
that
So,
used to be me. That used to be me 8 years ago.
t- go further with that if you don't mind. Explain that to the audience.
I'm telling y'all, I've been buying houses for 30 to 50 grand, dude. I promise you, man. And that's if I tell people now, they look at me like I'm an alien. And Virginia, Hampton Roads area. This is Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Hampton. I could buy them for 30 to 50,000. That's just what it was. And then you get your rent back, $1,000, $1,200 a month. Yeah, you have all your money back in 3 years. It was nothing, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, and that's not a reasonable expectation, but it also depends what region you're in, right?
Right.
So that wouldn't work in New York City. That wouldn't work in Central Florida, South Florida. But where Chris is at, that works, right? So would you not say it also depends on people's risk tolerance and personality, and besides the region of the area?
So much, man. It's weird. I was coaching a guy yesterday. He's buying something in Mississippi, I believe, and the rents, Dan, were $600. $600. It was a 10 unit. I'm like, this building only brings in 10. You got 10 tenants, 10 headaches, 10 kitchens, $10 for 600. So everybody different, man. Everybody different.
Invest in Texas and what you invest in. I'm not sure what that means. Eric
Bel-
Bellamy, gentlemen, please enjoy Memorial Day weekend. We
Yeah,
have enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I did. I spent time with my family. Made spent. We were cooking in the kitchen and preparing the meals enjoyed my yard. So yeah, this was a very enjoyable day.
good, good.
And I know,
So,
Chris, you're with your family, right? You're in where?
we're
In
out in
the
the country
country right
right
now.
now. This is called Tappahannock. I don't know if you heard of a singer called Chris Brown. Like he's from out here. I'm out in the country in Virginia, Rappahannock and Tappahannock.
There you go.
All right,
Guys, give us your questions. That's what we're here for.
yeah, we got 35 people on here. Y'all put questions in. Dan, what about people? I wanted to ask you about people that think they're gonna. We had a question earlier. Somebody's gonna make $10,000 to $15,000 a month passive cash flow. You're not gonna be rich about that, but Dan, in my opinion, that is. Let's just talk about real estate anywhere in the country, not crazy markets, just any town. To get $15,000 a month cash flow, I mean, that's not gonna happen overnight.
No, it took me years to get there.
Me too.
Decades.
Took me,
And
yeah, yeah.
but but let's take a step back. Our audience doesn't have to take a decade or 2 decades to get there because the information is so readily available for free on social media platforms like what we're on right now. Chris, how many hours of free education do you have on your YouTube channel?
Thousands,
Thousands, right?
thousands.
And I do a free mentorship class every single Wednesday night. Um, it's free to join, free to attend. I just celebrated my 100th free mentorship class last week,
That's
right?
cool.
So what
That's
I'm
cool.
saying is it took Chris and I years to get there, but it shouldn't take our audience years to get there because of how readily available this information is. We had to
That's true.
learn through trials and tribulations. And if you're a wise person listening to this right now, I would say learn from the mistakes that Chris and I have made. So it doesn't take you years to get to those numbers.
But still, Dan, I can't. No one can outperform the market. I remember a long time ago, one of my mentors told me, Chris, nobody's bigger than the market. The market is bigger than all of us. Whatever market you're in.
That I beg to differ and outperform the market. So in 2000 from 2010 to 2017, I was outperforming, but that's
I'm just
because
saying.
I was prepared.
What do you mean?
I was prepared to take advantage of the decline, right? Because we kind of saw it coming. Um, so what I'm trying to share with the audience is that you could do extremely well, whether it be this business or any business, as long as you understand basic economics, you educate yourself to that, and you financially prepare for when the opportunities arrive. Because you may be able to see the opportunity, but if you're not financially prepared, you can't take advantage of the opportunity.
That's a good point. I guess what I was trying to add. Well, I'll ask you if the rents are 1,100 for a unit, you're not getting 2 grand out of it. You can't make a door pay but so much above what the market. I mean, market rents are market rents.
Yeah, so you would need at least $30, in my opinion, $30 to do. And depend. I shouldn't say that. It depends on what market you're in, right? So for me for cash flow 15,000 in New York City, I would need
What's that building?
probably about 25 doors. Because then you have your mortgage
You
debt services, you have your taxes, your insurance, right? So you have your maintenance, you have your water and sewer charges, your utilities, insurance, um, you know, repairs, annual repairs, spring cleaning, seasonal cleaning. So, but like if I go to Florida, I would need no less than 40 to 50 doors to do 15, Central Florida to do 15,000 net.
me and Dan are. Well, I want to ask Dan. I'm a off that guy, so I don't gotta have all those doors to make that much money. It's like shit. I could. You know how much I can make with we get the debt paid down. That's why I wanted to just talk about time. This shit takes time, dog. It's just gonna take time.
Yeah, if you think you're going to make $15,000 a month starting in the business, Chris and I are not going to sell you on a hack. We're not going to sell you on the shortcuts. We're just here to tell you the truth, guys. Happy Memorial Day to you and your family and everyone else here. Take care, everyone.
All right, peace.